What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with a little bit of commentary about Mass Effect Andromeda, and of course we're getting a lot more information and news about the game here in the last couple of days, as Game Informer has been able to go to BioWare and get quite a bit of information on the game. They've been able to play the game and the multiplayer and other aspects of it, so we're starting to get a little trickle of info coming out. So I thought today I would talk about the multiplayer of Mass Effect Andromeda, because we did get quite a little information dump about it in the recent Game Informer article on Andromeda. And from what I've been reading and researching on it, it appears that they're staying very close to the core of Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. They basically say it's going to be a wave-based combat. It's a 4-person co-op. You'll be able to choose from different characters and classes as you can in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. The one major difference is it is going to be different aliens that you're facing off against, and there's going to be different races and things that you can choose from when you're picking your character. So I imagine you'll still have like the humans and the Krogans, Turians, and whatnot, but they're probably going to put some of these new alien races like the Ket in as well. Like you can play as an Awakened Collector in Mass Effect 3. I'm sure they'll allow you to play as some of the enemy races in the multiplayer as well. Now, they have changed a few things with the mechanics. Apparently it's a very smooth combat experience. One of the things they said they didn't like about Mass Effect 3 was the fact that the multiplayer combat felt so action-oriented and alive, and when you got into the campaign it felt a little bit slower and more mechanical. So apparently in Andromeda overall they have gone to this multiplayer control scheme type approach for the campaign as well as the multiplayer. You now will no longer have to use a button to enter cover. You'll enter cover seamlessly just by walking up to a wall, and now the button you would normally use to enter cover will activate a jetpack, which is going to add an interesting level of verticality to the multiplayer, because one of the biggest complaints people had in this game was that you just can't jump, which makes no sense. You're this like elite soldier type character and you can't jump. So that's one thing they are changing. You will now be able to have a little bit of vertical movement in the multiplayer for Mass Effect Andromeda. So a lot of hopefully a little bit smoother combat. They're also eliminating like the global cooldown for powers. Like when you use one of your powers in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, you have to wait till you can use any of the other ones. Now with Mass Effect Andromeda, there is going to be an individual timer for each power. So they said that makes you a little bit more effective. You're able to do combos on your own more often. Like you can throw out 2 biotic powers pretty much right after each other instead of waiting for recharge timer on one. So it makes it a lot easier to do combos and biotic explosions and things. So that's a pretty nice little change. Now, another major change they are making to the multiplayer is that they're now going to have modifiers. Before, obviously, you could go bronze, silver, gold, platinum if you wanted a more difficult experience. But now they're actually, in addition to those difficulty tiers, they're going to have things such as the skulls you use in like the Halo games, where you can actually put modifiers onto each round. So you can make yourself have lower health but do higher damage, and they're going to have all kinds of little modifications you can make to this so that you can make it more challenging. And when you use these modifiers, if you use the ones that make the game more challenging, you'll actually get more rewards at the end game, like more experience, more credits and things. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that all works out. It's going to be kind of cool to see the new aliens that they put into the multiplayer. And overall, it sounds like multiplayer is staying very true to its roots with Mass Effect 3, which is something I'm very happy about, considering all the major changes that appear to be happening with the campaign, which I'm going to talk about in a different video. Now, the store is coming back, like the RNG store you have in Mass Effect 3, where you open packs and unlock weapons and things. That is coming back to the game. You're going to be able to earn credits that you can buy these packs with. They say it's a card-based economy. You'll also be able to buy them for real money if you want, just like you can in Mass Effect 3. But they say this will not affect the gameplay at all. Everything is still going to be random, with the exception of one type of reward you can get. Now, BioWare is going to be creating a lot of community content for the multiplayer, as they did with Mass Effect 3. They did quite a few updates, bringing in new characters, new maps. And what they're going to be doing now is having these like challenges they're going to have. We're not sure what how often they're going to have those, but they're going to offer challenges kind of probably like they did with Mass Effect 3, where you could earn in 7 weapons and special little titles for your character if you played in those. Like they had Halloween events and other things. But this time, you're going to get a special kind of currency, which is called a mission fund. And when you get these mission funds, you can actually use them to directly buy the weapons and items you want for multiplayer. However, there's only going to be a limited number of those available in the store at any time, and the stock they'll have in that store will change on a regular basis. So this kind of sounds almost like Xur in Destiny. You're going to be able to get these special mission funds and then go to a special area of the vendor and just buy specific items, which that could be nice because I know there's a lot of people who were chasing after certain guns in the Mass Effect 3 store, and just no matter how many times you bought those high-level packs, you just never seemed to get the weapon or the character you wanted. So I kind of like that. That gives a nice little bit of flexibility to what you want to spend your credits and rewards on. And the other cool thing is they are going to have passive bonuses for character classes now. For example, in Mass Effect 3, when you reach level 20, you could, of course, promote a character to the campaign, and that would help out your overall score for your war assets. But they said other than that, it was kind of a useless thing they had. But now, whenever you promote someone, it's going to be a prestige system, I guess similar to Call of Duty. But when you prestige, it's going to unlock passive bonuses across your entire class. So if you promote one of your adepts or prestige one of your adepts, it's going to give all the rest of the adepts in that class a special passive bonus. They haven't really talked about what that will be, but that will be kind of cool to see when that happens. Now, they did also say, if you do want to play the multiplayer, you will see benefits in the single-player campaign. However, they're saying you don't have to actually play the multiplayer to affect the single-player campaign like you did in Mass Effect 3, which a lot of people did not like the fact that you could, boost your EMS score and that you almost had to play multiplayer in order to get the better endings in Mass Effect 3. So they're now saying it will not affect the end-game of the story. It will not really affect your story overall, but that it will give you benefits when you're playing inside the campaign. So they didn't really specify what those will be. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. They said they wanted to strike sort of a happy medium between Mass Effect 3's multiplayer and Dragon Age Inquisition's multiplayer, whereas with Mass Effect 3 it could affect your ending, and with the Dragon Age Inquisition it was basically completely useless and felt tacked on and had no impact on the other game whatsoever. I think this is a good thing. I don't think any of the players should be forced to play multiplayer in order to get a better ending within the story. That was something that bothered a lot of people in Mass Effect 3. I personally didn't care because I found the multiplayer really enjoyable in Mass Effect 3. In fact, I'm still playing it almost 4 years later. A lot of people are still playing it almost 4 years later. And the fact it's now on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 really helps things out a little bit. But I like the way they are changing this. So it seems pretty cool. And overall, it seems like they are going to stick to the Mass Effect 3 mechanics for the most part, which is good because Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, I think, was kind of a surprise. A lot of people didn't expect it to be much, and then it kind of just became this phenomenon of its own. A lot of people played it. BioWare did a great job supporting it and putting out additional content for it. And it's a very enjoyable game. It's a very enjoyable community around the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3. So I'm kind of interested to see how this works out with Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm not really super excited for the actual game itself, the campaign, because they're making a lot of changes to it that I'm not really all that, excited about, I guess. I'm sure it will still turn out to be a pretty good game, but I'm going to talk about that in a separate video after doing a lot of research on the game. I see a lot of things that don't really excite me for it being a Mass Effect game. But the multiplayer looks like it's going to be pretty good, and if they're going to base on Mass Effect 3's and make some improvements to it, seems like it'll be pretty fun. Anyways, guys, let me know if you've been keeping an eye on the Mass Effect Andromeda information. Let me know what you think about what you've been hearing so far. Let me know if you're still playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. I've recently picked it up again to take a little bit of a break from Overwatch and just been having a lot of fun with it. So that's going to be pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys are having a great day and are ready for a great Thanksgiving week. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you again next time.